it's safe to say that the Phillies have wheeled us back in. Yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Phillies Hat Stove Videocast. We're going to have another episode of the Phillies Hat Stove Hotline, as we're going to be taking questions and takes from the community. Now, guys, before getting into this video, please subscribe if you haven't done yet. Please turn the notification bell. Please like this video, comment on this video, share this video, and let's get into this. So we're going to have another week of the Phillies Hat Stove Hotline. So if you want to appear on Phillies Hat Stove Videocast, you can call 267-225-3392. Again, 267-225-3392. You can find us in the description section. Call in, wait to hear the voicemail, wait to hear the tone, then state your name, where you're calling from, then state your question and your opinion about any Phil's topic, right? So you could do that, or if you don't want to call the number, you can just go on your voice memo app and just record yourself talking, right? Same thing, your name, where you're recording from, question or opinion about any Phillies topic. Email that to phillieshatstove@gmail.com. Again, phillieshatstove@gmail.com. You can find us in the description section. If you do not want to appear on audio, you can just write text, right? I could just see what you typed, and I could just read it on screen, right? To state your name, where you're writing from, and then state your question and your opinion about any Phillies topic. You could DM me on Instagram, Phillies Hat Stove. Or you can DM me on Harper Fanatics. You can find that in the description section. Everything is in the description section. Or you can email me, phillieshatstove@gmail.com, or DM me on Twitter, something like that. Anything you want to do, everything is in the description section. So you have an opportunity to be on Phillies Hat Stove Videocast. I encourage you to do so. I really like interacting with the community. So let's not waste any more time. Let's get right into it, as we're going to go into our first caller, Ethan from Sewell, New Jersey. Second week in a row that he's called in to the VCast. Really appreciate him taking the time to call in. Let's take a look at what Ethan has to say.
What's up, Luke? It's Ethan again. I'm calling from Sewell, New Jersey. And my question is, based off what we've seen this season with the Phillies, what do you think needs to happen during the offseason? Who do you think the Phillies need to sign and or trade for during the offseason? And, position players. And who do you think are some key players that Dave Dombrowski needs to get during the offseason so we could be a better team? See you later, Luke.
Well, that's a great question, right? I mean, there's going to be a decent amount of moves made this offseason again, right? So I think it's kind of unclear, what direction Dave Dombrowski will, take this offseason, right? Does he look at, because when he first was hired here, he said, not rebuild or retool. Does he continue to retool, right? I think that's the right move. You can't keep going out and set up the same core year after year after year. I think maybe the Phillies look at maybe a new shortstop, right? With Carlos Correa or Corey Seager. With Trevor Story, something like that. And do I think that they're really going to get serious about that? Who knows? You have Bryson Scott, who's going to be coming up in 2022 next year, probably in the later end of the season. So I think that that's the kind of guy you kind of have to make room for, right? You can move on the infield a little bit. I don't like the idea of Alec Bowman left field. I just don't, and I understand maybe I'm going off top a little bit here. I'm talking about, what players I think the Phillies should acquire. I definitely think maybe the Phillies should take a look at their starting pitching market. There's no question about that. Definitely think they need another starter. I like their starting rotation a lot. You have Kyle Gibson on club control until the end of 2022. You have Zach Wheeler here for a little while. You have Aaron Nola here for a little while. Even though I'm pretty disappointed with Aaron, especially after his start yesterday. But maybe you go take a look at Max Scherzer. Guy's getting older. He probably has, maybe a year or two left of, being in his prime. I'm not really blown away by the pitching staff market this offseason. I'm just not. Maybe the Phillies look at a trade, all right? I think that that's a definitely a realistic possibility too. I think they just need to continue to work on the bullpen. So I just don't think the bullpen is reliable as I want it to be. It's not a playoff type bullpen. It's just too many injuries, and it's just not durable at all. And I just don't think it's good down the stretch. It's better than it was last year, but it's still not where I want it to be at. So I definitely think that that's the kind of moves that Dave Dombrowski needs to take care of this offseason. But I definitely think the offensive player, category this offseason has much, much better names than the pitching staff market. There's no question about it. There's no question about it. I could take a look at a guy like Daniel Hudson, a guy that, could be a realistic opportunity for the Phillies, too. I mean, the guy that's going to be a free agent, and I think that would be a really good signing, too. I think that he would make our bullpen a lot better. David Grasky is known for passing on the relief pitching market for whatever reason. So it's going to be very interesting to see what direction Dave takes his team in this offseason. I'm very, very anxious to see as we take a look at Andrew, right, calling it from Georgia. Yes, he has called in every single episode of the Phillies Had Stove Hotline. So we're going to go take a look at what he has to say. Andrew, take it away, my friend.
Yo, what's up, Luke? It's Andrew calling in for I don't know, it's been too many times. I've called in every single time. The only person to do that. But anyway, sorry, I didn't know what to really talk about this week. Usually I like to rant. So we're going to go with our top 3 most important players for making a run. Like, these aren't like the obvious players. Like, these are like players who can step up, and I think we can make the playoffs. So from number 3, I'm gonna go with Sam Coonrod. We need some guys to take the pressure off of like Archie Bradley and stuff, and be like Ian Kennedy, so we can not have to make them go big innings like Ranger Suarez did early in the year. For number 2, I'm going to go with Odubel Herrera. If he can get on base, that'll let Gene Segura get hot. That'll let Bryce Harper knock in more runs. I think if Odubel Herrera gets hot, this offense is going to be lethal, which it already has, because you just saw him get 3 hits when we won the series in that last game. And then for number 1, I'm going to go with Ranger Suarez. Aaron Nola is not it this year. So if this man can step up and give us that 1 run for 6 innings, I think we can win the division easily. Who are your top 3?
That's a great question, right? I mean, you kind of choose some underdogs, some guys that aren't really on the top of the Phil's list when it comes to stature. And I really like that too, because I mean, and those are the kind of guys you have to rely on, because Bryce Harper's going to do his thing. I mean, that Zach Wheeler, when he's not tired, is going to do his thing. I mean, you understand that JT hasn't offensively been, what we thought he would be this year, but usually he's going to do his thing. So you got to go take a look at, some lower level guys. So that's a really, really good point right there. And I look at a guy like Kyle Gibson, right? A guy who has been great since joining the Phillies, donning the red pinstripes. I mean, this guy has just been great. Generates a lot of ground balls. I definitely think he's underrated. I think he's done a fantastic job. He's been just very, very soft for the Phillies. I mean, especially when we acquired him, he was coming off of a really, really rough, couple weeks with the Rangers, right? A couple starts, he was just absolutely terrible. He's able to come over here to Philly and do very, very well. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he has to do this next month. I look at him as a guy who, could really, really help us out down the stretch. I mean, if he keeps up what he's been doing, I definitely look at him as a very, very good asset. Also take a look at J.D. Hammer, a guy that when he's been out there, has been dominant, right? I mean, we saw Phillies have a lot of young guys in that bullpen, with Connor Brogdon, with J.D. Hammer, with Bailey Falter. I mean, that's some youth in that bullpen, which I really, really like. And J.D. Hammer, like I said, when healthy, has been very, very good. I really, really like his stuff. It's electric. It's good. It can be downright just filthy, right? So I think this kid has a lot of potential, and I think that he, if he can keep up what he's been doing, can just be a great asset coming out of the Phillies bullpen. I have been so impressed what he's been able to do. I definitely agree with you on that. I go take a look at Ronald Torres, a guy that's been extremely underrated all season long. This guy has been great, right? He's a part-time player. He's a platoon player. He can play all around the diamond. This is a guy that has, come up, big for the Phils in clutch spots. So I've been very impressed with him. He's done well with the playing time he's got. So this is another underrated player for the Phils. So those are my top 3. That's a very, very good question you brought up right there. I definitely like that a lot. So we're going to go up to Trenton, New Jersey, as we got a caller calling in up there. So let's take a look at what Brad has to say. Let's take a look.
Hey, this is Brad. I'm calling in from Trenton, New Jersey. I was just wondering if you think the Phillies have a legit chance at, taking this in at least sneaking into the playoffs, or maybe just get a wild card spot or something. I'd like to hear your take on that, man. Thanks.
Yeah, that's a great question. I definitely think they have a good chance, especially if the Braves can, continue to cool off a little bit. I understand they won last night, but they got swept out by the Dodgers. The Braves could just play 500 ball, and the Phillies can take care of business and beat the bad teams. I think the Phillies are going to win this division hands down because they have an easier schedule than the Braves to finish out the season. Now, could I see the Phillies totally squandering that? Absolutely. Absolutely, I could. I definitely could see that. That's a very realistic possibility. That's something that I could definitely see happening. As goes for wild card, it's just too jammed up in there, right? You got the Reds, you got the Padres, then you got the Cardinals in the mix. I mean, that's just too tight for me. That's too tight for my liking. I just don't see the Phillies, really, competing for that too much. I mean, yes, it's a possibility, but the Phillies really want to get into the postseason. They have to win this NL East division, which has been weak all year. And the wild card, it's just too many ifs, right? This is depending on all these ifs. Like I don't feel like dealing with that. Not only is a wild card, it's called the wild card, right? I mean, it's just a one-game playoff. Of course, it would be playoff baseball, but I would much rather win this division. Of course, if the wild card gets us into the playoffs, I mean, so be it. But I mean, not only is it more likely to win the division, but it's just better for we win the division. Of course, right? It's a playoff series, and not just a one-game playoff. That's just my opinion. I'm not going to say it's likely or not likely the Phillies make the playoffs. I don't know. I mean, it all depends on what they do this last month, of course. I've never seen anything like this before. 2 years ago, the Braves had this division. They were the owners of this division. At this time, 2 years ago, we knew who was going to make the playoffs. The Phillies were, trying to fight for a wild card spot, it just was not as much like it. Now, right now, there's more hope. There's more hope with Harper having an MVP season. With Zach Wheeler, I understand he hasn't been good the past couple of weeks. He's still having a great season overall. So there's a little bit more hope right now. I could feel it. There's more hope, for Red October. I truly don't know. It's who knows? I mean, the Phillies could definitely do it, or they could totally just collapse. I mean, so I don't know. They've never been really that good in September. Let's all remember that. That's pretty much it for the Phillies Hot Stuff Hotline this week. I'd like to thank you all for calling in. We didn't get any text things this week. Of course, we occasionally will get those. I'm gonna say it before, I'm gonna say it again. If you want to be on Phillies Hot Stuff Videocast, you can call 267-225-3392. You can find us in the description section. Call, wait to hear the little voicemail beep of the truck backing up, and then state your name, where you're calling from, your question and or opinion about any Phil's topic. And you also go on the voicemail app, record yourself talking, your name, where you're calling from, your question and or opinion about any Phillies topic, and send it over to phillieshotstove@gmail.com. And like I said, you have an opportunity to also text it to your name, where you're writing from, question or opinion about any Phillies topic. You could DM me, Phillies Hotstove, on Instagram, RFNX on Instagram. You can also email me, phillieshotstove@gmail.com. All this is in the description section, so you have an opportunity to be on Phillies Hot Stuff Videocast. So guys, if you watch this video, please subscribe if you haven't yet. Please show notification bell. Please like this video, comment on this video, share this video, check out the social media. Link in the description section at Phillies Hot Stuff Instagram. Check it out Instagram. Call or text 267-225-3392. Email me, phillieshotstove@gmail.com. So 7th in the first pitch tonight in Miami Beach as the Phillies open up a 3-game series against the Marlins. Cal Gibson takes the mound. 10-5 with a 2.94 ERA going against Luzardo. 5-7 with a 7.19 ERA. Let's hope the offense can stay hot. Let's hope that Kyle Gibson can be as good as he has been. So guys, since you're watching, I'm Luke, and I'll talk to you later. Let's go Phillies. I'll see you guys.